Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Black Hat USA 2019. Chuck Harrell, SecurityGuideTV.com. We're at episode 1,122, I think. That's a lot of shows.
That's a lot of shows.
That's a lot of shows. Now, what's your name, sir?
My name's Dean Weber. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for Mocana.
And bring your microphone a little bit. There you go. And spell the website for me.
www.mocana, MOCANA.com.
Now, I'm excited to talk to you for a lot of reasons. First of all, we don't usually talk to the CTOs. You're the guys that don't get the cover page of CISO magazine, right? You don't get all the bling bling, but you guys are doing all the work. You're down in there stopping everything from happening. So I'm really excited to talk to you about that. We're going to talk to you today about the OT space, right? The protection of infrastructure, and how that is so important because basically we're a little behind in that area.
More than a little.
So tell us what's going on in your area, how you guys work with that, and what you guys do.
So we build a security platform for OT technology elements, ranging from devices, mechanical, electrical devices, all the way out to the infrastructure and then out into the services platforms as well. It's a security platform that's based on building trust into a platform. That trust is then measurable using strong mechanisms,
right?
Strong identity mechanisms, strong whatever mechanism you have of the day is pretty much what we can use in terms of how we can deliver a secure platform. And then using that secure platform as a mechanism to ensure that you are talking to a trustworthy device, and therefore the data that is coming off of the device is also trustworthy. Basically, we're saying protect the device as opposed to detect and respond, which has been the Gartner mantra for a lot of years.
Well, I like that approach better. Now, one thing most people don't know, and you're going to correct my incorrect points here, but our infrastructure, our oil, gas, electrical, all that kind of stuff, right? This stuff was all built 40 years ago. And, 1974, when it was a dumb terminal PC maybe, and they're operating on Windows 3.1. I mean, that's exaggerated, but not too much. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. I got it right. So how do you take that challenge? How do you wire this stuff together and make it work? I mean, nobody's going to upgrade everything all at once and say we're on Windows 10. I mean, what do we do with this problem?
So in the broad scope, we separate this into three segments. Actually, 50-50, greenfield meaning new devices being developed, new platforms being developed, and then brownfield existing platforms.
Okay.
And then you take the brownfield environment, you split it in half again. There's brownfield upgradable, which are those areas where we are able to implement some levels of additional security and monitoring and management structures into those devices. And then there's non-upgradable, which means there's physically not enough memory or CPU or storage, whatever. And in those cases, pretty much the only thing you can do is put a gateway in front of it, which is what many of the manufacturers are doing today.
And they're not going to replace it because is this just a cost-benefit analysis, or what? Why wouldn't you just? That's the most important thing. Why wouldn't you just get the money and do it?
Well, because we're talking about public utilities. Public utilities are constrained by government, namely public utilities commissions.
Oh.
How do you get the money to do that? You have to go back to the consumer and ask them for a raise.
See, but I bet you're not explaining it properly. I mean, if you're going to come to me on the ballot and say I need 10 cents more to fix my computer at the electrical plant, I'm thinking everybody's going to pay for that.
I wouldn't disagree.
It's bizarre.
But that's not what you hear about upgrades to the infrastructure,
no, that's
is it?
not, right.
It's 100% true.
All right, so
whether they're doing a good job or a bad job of that, the bottom line is money is hard to come by in those spaces.
Okay.
And therefore, wholesale upgrade is not easy.
All right. So how do you guys handle that? I mean, if you're operating Windows 3.1, eventually that's going to fail. Now, would a failure result in maybe not a catastrophic failure, but a regional failure that can't be fixed?
So now you're coming into the aspects of OT that are difficult, right? So part of that is about safety, right? The OT guys have been safety-oriented, job one forever.
Right.
Right.
And they're pretty good at that.
They're pretty good at that. What they haven't recognized is that safety is only one leg of the stool. Resilience is one leg of the stool, and they kind of have that down as well. Their safety systems take care of that for them. Right. The third leg is cyber. And cyber hasn't been thought of in these spaces because they weren't connected. They were isolated. They weren't able to be addressed from outside networks. Right. That's no longer the case. In many networks, there is connectivity. At the very least, you look at how Stuxnet worked. Stuxnet worked across a USB stick.
Oh, what a mistake that was. I mean, it was a good idea to go against the other side. Then it got out, and now we're all vulnerable.
Well, we taught the world how to do it, and now there's been several, right? There's Black Energy, there's Black Energy 3+, there's Dooku, there's Flamer, there's Gauss, there's all kinds of malware that has been based on the precepts that went into Stuxnet on how you do a multi-level attack using autonomous code.
Now, let's talk about something hopeful. Is there any hope in
Absolutely.
what's going on? All right, good.
Otherwise, Mocana wouldn't be in business.
Well, that's a good point. I'm getting a little sad here. So tell us what the solutions are. Tell us how we're going to get past this and make this work.
So the good news is we can protect, right? The answer is we can deal with new development in that greenfield environment in a much more secure fashion.
Okay.
I mean, there's no such thing as perfect security.
Sure.
But we can make it much more difficult for bad guys to gain access to do bad things in those environments by creating roots of trust, by creating trust chains, by creating the ability to say, I am trustworthy because,
right,
and you are trustworthy because, and we can exchange those values through local and remote attestation to say, okay, we're both trustworthy.
Right.
Now we can communicate. That removes a whole aspect of zero-day and code-level vulnerabilities
that's
because
true.
If you're good and I'm good, you're not compromised, there's nothing on you that's going to hurt me, and I'm not compromised, so there's nothing on me that's going to hurt you.
It's almost like, I think back in the old days of peer-to-peer encryption. Like, just you and I are talking, and we know that's a clear channel, and that's kind of what you're setting up. It's very interesting. Now, give me a general sense of where you think we are with our grid. Are we in pretty good shape in America? Is it pretty well locked down?
No.
It's not. I thought, people say, oh, we're pretty good, and I go, I'm not sure we're pretty good. Maybe we're fair. I don't know.
So in terms of scoring, there's two levels to this, right? There's offense and defense.
Yep.
As a country, we're pretty good at offense, right? We have a lot of offensive capability.
Right.
And, Title 50 of the U.S. Code, Title 18, says that we're going to reserve the right to respond kinetically.
Okay.
So if you turn off our power, we can turn you off.
Exactly. Right.
So, I mean, that's what we've reserved. We haven't done that yet.
Right.
But, you look at the latest thing in the Gulf where we took out electronically the facilities that managed the attack against our drone.
Well, that's true. That's right. Yeah.
So that was an electronic attack against a kinetic attack.
Right.
So, I mean, the bottom line is we have lots of things in the arsenal on the offensive side. On the defensive side, it's a mutually assured destruction world, right? It's just like nuclear.
Yeah, well, I agree with you, but then I don't, because if they take us out and we go kinetic on them, some philosophies nowadays are, I'm a martyr and I'm okay with that. I'm not sure we've put that into the mix.
We have.
All right.
Right, and there's also the attestation part, right? So because this has manifested itself pretty broadly, there's lots of bad actors, right? It's not just near-peer nation states.
That's right.
So yes, that is part of the aspect, and that's part of the rogue aspect, right? The attribution function is difficult. But at the end of the day, using strong authentication mechanisms, using strong authorization mechanisms, using strong trust mechanisms goes a long ways towards making sure that somebody wants to attack us, they're not going to get far.
Right.
They're not going to be able to turn off our grid. They're not going to be able to shut down our oil-producing facilities. But we got to get there, right? I mean, that's an evolutionary thing. And there are some revolutionary technologies that we can apply to do that, but it is an evolutionary function, and there has to be money to do it, right? You have to write the security check.
Give us your website one more time.
I'm sorry?
Your website?
www.mocana.com, Mocana.
CTO, Chief Tactical Officer. That's what we're going to call you, dude. I would love to have you on my team. You just got this command presence like, we're not going to let this happen. I feel better. We have a long ways to go, but we're working on it, and that's the good news.
We're on the path.
All right, beautiful. Thanks for coming to Security Guy TV at Black Hat USA 2019. We'll be back in a minute here with some more shows.
Thank you.